Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you everything you need to know about learning the operator in Valorant. It is the strongest weapon in Valorant. It's a lot of people will say it's actually a skillless weapon, mainly because it's just very easy to use. It's a one-shot body shot, and pretty much no other weapon is like that except for obviously shotguns, very close range. But at any range, the operator will kill people with a body shot to the chest. So without further ado, you can go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you guys some nice tips. This is me playing a deathmatch game with the operator. It's quite easy to use, particularly in deathmatch, because people are just kind of running around and they'll just run right into you. But you can also apply what you learn mechanically in deathmatch to your own games in Valorant. So my first tip for you guys is going to be aim for the chest, because like I said at the beginning, the operator is a one-shot body shot, so aiming for the head is not really necessary. For example, with something like the Marshal, you'd probably want to be doing that, which I'll make a guide for here in the future. But in general, you're just going to want to be aiming for the chest. So, keep that in mind. Make sure you have muscle memory for aiming at the head, like at headshot level. Just go ahead and tweak that a little bit and try to aim for the chest. And it shouldn't be too hard to do. It's the chest is bigger than the head, and once you realize how broken the op is, then it'll be even easier as well. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is hold angles and have patience with the op. So this pretty much means just don't peek people unless like you absolutely need to, and there will be scenarios where you need to, but most of the time you can just, especially in deathmatch, wait for people to run into you. And also in the game, like say you're on defense, right, and you're just holding an angle, people are just gonna run into your crosshair. You don't need to wide swing and run into their spawn. Like naturally they're gonna peek you because they have to take the site. So it's really just up to you to predict where they're coming from. And if you can hear them running around with their footsteps, it'll be even easier for you to predict where they're gonna come. Nice no scope there. So yeah, also have patience. In a game, you don't want to be sitting at the site for too long, but you also don't want to be pushing. So it ties directly into just holding angles, and you'll see me hold angles all throughout this VOD here. And yeah, so the next tip is no scope at very close ranges. Pretty much, no scoping with the Marshal is very strong, but with the op, it's not quite as good. So you want to be making sure that you're no scoping for exclusively very close ranges, just because if you go for the medium range no scopes, there's a pretty good chance it's not going to land unless you're just lucky. Whereas with the Marshal, you're going to be no scoping at long ranges, and it's actually still going to work. But yeah, so that's just that's just kind of a minor caveat to the operator. The next really important tip that I have for you guys, this is one that I feel like a lot of people don't really think about or aren't really aware of. So this tip is don't scope with the op until you're actually ready to shoot. So if you guys actually pay attention to my gameplay here, you'll notice that I'm not really scoping until I'm either holding an angle or until I see someone right there. It's very easy to just quick scope someone. Basically you just need your crosshair to be on the person's chest, and if you zoom in, you're gonna just shoot and then they're dead. That's all you have to do. The reason that you don't want to run around scoped is because it minimizes how much of the area you can see that you're looking at, and also it makes you move slower. So only zoom in if you're just holding an angle. And that confused me how I didn't kill that Viper, but I think someone else killed her sooner. But yeah, making sure that you're not zooming in just because, like I said, you can see less in the area around you, and also you move slower. So that's a pretty important tip, especially mainly for just deathmatch and retaking normally and in a normal game. But otherwise, holding ADS is fine. Also, whenever you're using the op, you have the option to double zoom. You don't have to double zoom ever, but it can be nice to make shots easier at very long distances. So for example, if you're holding mid, top mid from bottom mid on ascent, you might consider double zooming just so that the person that's going to peek from top mid might, they'll be easier to hit because you're double zoomed, so their body will be bigger. Another small thing that's entirely preference is either hold to zoom or toggle to zoom. This has been proven time and time again that it's just preference, so whichever one you prefer. I prefer hold, but toggle is also completely fine if that's what you prefer. This is the same as toggle ADS. This is just the scope. But again, that's just entirely preference. The last thing is your scope sensitivity should be 1 by default. There's really no reason for you to change that unless you really feel like, oh, I want my sniper sense to be faster by a little bit, or I want my sniper sense to be slower by a little bit. But really, pretty much overall, you could just keep it at 1. Like, pretty much anyone that's high rank in this game will keep they'll tell you that their scope sense is 1 most likely. So again, just to kind of recap before this VOD ends, hold angles and wait for people to peek you with the up. Even in deathmatch, you'll notice that I don't always just wide swing and run into areas. Sometimes I do, but again, deathmatch is kind of low risk. Aim for the chest, pretty obvious tip, but again, kind of important because if you're trying to hit the head whenever you don't need to, or you're trying to aim for the feet, then that's not good. I'm guessing most of you are aiming for the chest because you know that it's a one-shot body shot, but just to let you guys know. Lastly, last few things, no scope at only very close ranges, and also run around unscoped, and then scope whenever you see people, so that you know, so that you can see more of your environment, and also you move a little quicker. So yeah, hopefully this guy was helpful, and again, pretty easy weapon to use. But yeah, if you guys have any other weapon guides, I know a lot of you want the Ghost, I think something with the Stinger, Frenzy, but I'll be working on that as well as the Marshall in the coming days. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe and peace.